What's up, guys? It's been quite some time since I have made a preview or anything on this channel. But anyway, this is Mr. Sanders, and I'm going to preview Extreme Rules 2013. Just give sort of my preview of the matches and just my thoughts on or just my predictions as to what's going to happen. Pre-show is Miz versus Cody Rhodes. Jesus. Of course, the pre-show is the guy who are from both of the guys who didn't get to be on WrestleMania. It is just kind of like a throwaway match, but I don't see them trying to resurrect Cody Rhodes, even though they kind of should. Like, Cody, I think, has more potential than Miz at this point, because if they're trying to do something different with Miz, the problem is he's not really as versatile as he needs to be. But of course, WWE logic, I see Miz winning the match. Anyway, an actual match on the card. Which one will be first? I'm gonna assume Chris Jericho versus Fandango. It's gonna be the usual shtick with this sort of match. Let the young up and comer win on the big show, and then let the other guy win on the next pay-per-view. It's a good formula, and it could make for a really good match here, just for the already established dynamic to become more interesting with Chris Jericho and Fandango. But I'm thinking Chris Jericho is going to win this match. I don't think it'll be a dominant victory, but I do think it'll probably be a good match, and it'll probably be a way of Chris Jericho exhibiting Fandango. Anyway, next matchup that's probably going to happen is going to be Kofi Kingston versus Dean Ambrose. Kofi Kingston can't really bring prestige to a title. He's already had too much. And I think that the Shield are in the prime position to get all the titles in this pay-per-view and just become as important as they need to be. So I see Dean Ambrose winning this, and I think this can bring a lot of prestige to the United States Championship. After all, Dean Ambrose and the rest of the members of the Shield have beaten some pretty top-tier competitors in the WWE recently, so I think this will be really cool. Next matchup is, let's see. I'm thinking it's going to be Sheamus versus Mark Henry. Sheamus and Mark Henry actually do seem to work fairly well, but I gotta wonder how well a strap match can actually work between these two. Mark Henry is quite a heavy guy, and I'm actually picking Sheamus to win. So I gotta wonder whether or not this match will be any good, but I do think it'll be at least a little bit interesting. But yeah, I'm still thinking Sheamus is gonna win. I don't see Mark Henry getting out of this. All right, next matchup that I'm thinking is going to happen is going to be Randy Orton versus The Big Show. It's going to be, of course, the match where Orton gets back at Big Show for knocking him the fuck out at the end of the WrestleMania match. They've been spinning their wheels with Big Show. They've been spinning their wheels with Randy Orton. It's hard to tell whether or not anything will come out of either one of these guys winning. I'm actually thinking Randy Orton might win. What I would do if I was in this position, I would have Randy Orton win, John Cena lose, and have both of them go together to become a tag team to try to bring some prestige to the tag team ranks. And and the reason I would specifically do this is to have them feud with the Shield, but have them just barely lose to the Shield repeatedly, and then they actually finally get a victory and bring more prestige to the tag team championships. But of course, that's what I would do, and WWE logic does not run on my logic. Next match I think is going to happen. Team Hell No versus Daniel Bryan. Team Hell No of Daniel Bryan and Kane versus the Shield of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. If there was anyone's I would have picked for the tag team, it actually would have been Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, because I sort of see Roman Reigns as just the big guy. But still, this is still a pretty good grouping, and this match is actually a Tornado Tag Team match, which if you don't know, a Tornado Tag Team match is a tag match where you don't have to tag the other guy. It's just 2-on-2 straight up. And I think that could be really cool for this sort of thing, especially with the usual advantage of the Shield is that they have very heavy wolf packing tactics, that they just kind of smother one guy and then smother the other guy. But, when both guys are just out and about, that's not really going to happen as easily as some people may believe it would. Kane and Daniel Bryan, for the run they've had, I think this would be a good place to drop it. I think I've said that 4 times now, but see, the Shield have all the momentum on them. They have all the talent. They have all the time. They have all the potential. I think this would be a great feather in their cap. So I'm actually thinking that the Shield is going to win this, and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are going to become the new tag team champions of the world. Anyway, the next match up. Well, this will probably be the main event, but this is a match I would put on at this point. Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in a steel cage. There's no stipulation on this at all. Like, I would have figured this would be the point where you would say, yo, dog, Lesnar, you gotta leave or I'm gonna leave. Like, double stipulation of what they did on WrestleMania. Well, Brock Lesnar won 1, Triple H won 1. I'm actually wondering where this is gonna go, because it depends on what they want to do after this. It kind of feels like this is just gonna be Triple H's like hurrah, because that's what he does. Like he just destroys people, and then takes any spotlight they have, and of course he would do that with Brock Lesnar. But at the same time, I do know that Brock Lesnar just a few months ago signed an extension on his contract, and losing to Triple H would make no sense. Still, I wouldn't put it out of the memory that Triple H might win. The next matchup after that is Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger in an I Quit match for the #1 contendership of the World Heavyweight Championship. As far as I know, current champion Dolph Ziggler got a concussion from someone and is apparently suffering temporary memory loss. And yeah, that's kind of a really bad position to be in. You're presented as the new champion, and then you're immediately made to look weak by getting knocked the fuck out. But who do I see winning this match? Well, Dolph Ziggler still has not gotten really that big with a lot of the mainstream crowd, so I'm thinking they're going to have some kind of good guy. And even though Del Rio hasn't really gotten that big with the good guy crowd, he's gotten bigger, so I'm actually thinking Del Rio's going to win this match. And finally, the main event. Ryback versus John Cena. I actually think what this should have been is just straight up should have been Ryback saying, "Feed me more competitors." I think it was actually a bad idea to make him a heel. Like people, I actually understood Ryback as a heel. Here he's just kind of like he's like anybody else. He could have given it to someone who could have better matches, who could have more energy. He's just bland as a heel. At least I could tell with some energy, even though he's like a less talented Goldberg, at least he's something. Now he's just kind of just there. Anyway, John Cena in a Last Man Standing match. Does he ever lose these? Like, unless he's going to get thrown into a spotlight, which might actually happen because they did something online where it's like, oh, top 10 foreign objects, that spotlight that Cena got thrown through, which of course is bullshit. And they didn't even have the Honky Tonk Man's guitar, but enough about that. I'm kind of thinking Ryback might win, but that's sort of being hopeful because I sort of think he could make an interesting champion because I could believe Ryback could win without cheating because he's just so damn huge. And John Cena does not need another title reign or another extended title reign. But where would they go with this? I'm not really sure. But John Cena, I actually see John Cena coming out. I'm hopeful that he doesn't. But I think that's kind of the thing with everyone. It's just like, it's been 10 years. Just give up. But anyway, that's my preview and predictions on what's going to happen in Extreme Rules 2013. How will it go? Guess you'll have to check out my interview tomorrow to find out. So, see you guys then.